Look at that, guys. Poison dart frog. I consider them good luck, and this is the second day in a row that I've seen one. So that's lots of good luck. These are the green and blacks. The scientific name is Dendrobates auratus. So let me zoom back out here. And that's going to be your introduction to this video. That was an absolutely unplanned introduction to this video. I was planning on going up a little further and starting, but he crossed my path and I just couldn't resist, because I can't resist a dart frog. Oh, well, now let's start the video for real. Good morning and Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2021. Can you believe it? We made it through 2020. Let's hope that year never repeats itself again. But it is a new year, and with a new year comes a fresh start and new experiences and new adventures, and that is what this video is all about, because my 2021 is going to be very different than the last almost 50 years of my life. So let me tell you why. Obviously, you just saw me show you a poison dart frog, which means the chances are I'm not in Los Angeles unless I'm at the zoo, and I'm not at the zoo. Let me show you where I am. Let's walk up a little bit. All right, so where is Mary? Well, that's been a question that some of you have had for a couple of months now. Because if you had fall classes with me, you know that in mid-November, November 13th to be exact, I told you I was traveling, so emails would be slow to be answered and grading would be a little bit more sporadic than usual. Usually I'm really on top of that. But I've had very sporadic Wi-Fi here. Where is here? Here is Panama. And not just Panama, but it has another name for me now. Home. I have moved to Panama, guys. This has been a dream that has been over 6 years in the making, since I first visited Belize and fell in love with the jungle. And since then, I have spent more time in Belize, time in Costa Rica, and time here in Panama, looking for the perfect property for the next phase of my life, and I found it. I found it last year in January, so right at a year ago, I found the property, and my husband and I have purchased it. And that's what's been going on for the last couple of months. This purchase was supposed to have been completed in like the end of May, but COVID hit. Literally, we put our deposit down on the property the first week in March. COVID hit the second week in March. And it has been a roller coaster. I might sit down and make a whole video about that at some point, but it's been a roller coaster, and we didn't even know if we were going to be able to continue the purchase of the property because of COVID. But everything has worked out now. We own the property, and we're so excited for this new start to our lives. But not just a new start to our lives. There are big changes coming to Next Level Homeschool. All right, so let me show you just a little bit of the property. I will do a full tour here in the next few weeks when things get cleared out a bit. This property was abandoned for about 5 years. So that's my new car. This is my brand new road that was just put in yesterday. It was completed to the bottom of our property. You might be saying, well, where in Panama are you? Okay, so grab a map, and we are in an area, a province of Panama called Bocas del Toro. We are on the Caribbean side of Panama, about an hour south of the Costa Rica border. Now, if you go up this road, you will hit a main road that goes between the towns of Almirante, if you find that on the map, and will eventually get you, if you drive for about 3 hours, to a main city called David. Yeah, I'm that far from like real civilization. It's a big change from Los Angeles. So this property that I've been showing you, we have what they call here hectares. We have almost 5 hectares, which is about 13 acres of lush, gorgeous, beautiful rainforest that is filled with amazing animals Like I just showed you the poison dart frog. I have seen sloths. Yes, sloths. Okay, you should be done squealing by now, so I'll continue. Sloths on our property. I hear monkeys quite a bit. This used to be an eco lodge. You're going to see that, like I said, it's been abandoned for over 5 years, and there's a lot of work to be done. But it used to be an eco lodge, and scientists actually would come to this eco lodge to study the biodiversity of bird life in this area. They documented over 230 species of birds just on our property, including toucans, guys. Amazing. Okay, so not only awesome animals, check this out. Sorry, it's gonna be shaky today. I'm filming, I'm all here all by myself. You see what that is? Do you have any idea what that is? Shaky. Your teacher owns pink bananas. I have like 6 different species of bananas here. I haven't even gotten to them all because our property hasn't been cleared. It is covered in weeds. It's going to be cleared this next week, so then I'll be able to give you a better tour. I'll be able to walk around more. Okay, so from the end of our road, it's about 1/3 of a mile on that road that we just put in. So 1/3 of a mile through our property to get to the main road. And then you get here to the bottom. We do have a few buildings here that are in serious need of renovation, and I'll show you those later. But we're just going to take a walk through the property right now. Again, this is just beautiful, lush, gorgeous rainforest, and I can't wait to get out here and really start documenting the wildlife and the plant life that we have. In addition to bananas, we have a cacao orchard. So if you're not familiar with what cacao is, if you like chocolate, you like cacao, because it's the cacao beans that chocolate is made from. These, I think, are ginger plants. I still have a lot to learn about the plant life here. So we have a little cacao farm. So we're going to be able to make our own chocolate here. We have coconuts. I have drank water out of my own coconuts on my own property. Like, are you kidding me? If you didn't know, your teacher, this is her version of heaven. Seriously. Okay, so now we're going to start walking out of the jungle area, the jungle ecosystem, the rainforest ecosystem, and we're going to move into another ecosystem. Now, you know me, I'm all about biology. I'm both terrestrial and aquatic. You know my degree is in marine biology. And now we're walking, now we have just entered a brand new ecosystem. And if you have taken marine biology classes from me, or even biology classes and done the plant units, you should know what ecosystem I'm in right now. And these roots should give you a really good idea. All right, you got a thought about what maybe it might be? Mangroves. Okay, so we have gone from our jungle ecosystem into our mangrove ecosystem. All right, so what do we know about mangroves? Well, we know they don't just like grow on the land. They grow in kind of the marshy area of the coast, right? So between the land and the sea. And if you look here, you can see we actually have a little creek that runs up the side of our property over here and empties out. But you can see it's really marshy here. It's low tide right now. So as we walk further down this kind of dilapidated dock, everything here is a little dilapidated right now. It's in the process of renovation, so you'll probably hear some nails being pounded. But now you can see we're surrounded by water. All right. Oh, and I want to show you this too. See this big, like, dirt pile? I mean, that thing is huge. It's probably about 3 feet long and about 3 feet high. It's a termite mound. How cool is that? Okay. Getting everything adjusted. All right, so we continue walking through the mangroves. I mean, it's just so peaceful back here, so quiet. It's perfectly shady. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. So We come into our mangrove ecosystem, and what's going to be on the other side of a mangrove ecosystem? Well, it's going to be our third ecosystem that we have on this property. Let me get out of the mangroves. And that is ocean. Yeah, we sit right on the Caribbean. I have, so in addition to the 13 acres of land that we have over 600 feet of waterfront on the Caribbean. And as you can see, everything is dilapidated. It's it's not going to be for long. We're working really hard to get things done. This property has been, I don't know if I said or not, but this property has been abandoned for over 5 years. So there's a lot to be done. No maintenance has been done in that time. All right, so here's my dock and my building over the water here. Now, Bocas del Toro is an archipelago. So that is like a series of islands. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of little tiny islands off the coast of Panama. This island right here is called Isla Pastores, which is basically Shepherd Island. This is all mainland here that comes around. We're in this really protective cove, so it never gets really rough here. So it's great for snorkeling and swimming. All right, so what could you possibly see if you're snorkeling or swimming here? How about a coral reef right off the dock? Can you guys see that? I don't know how well the camera picks it up. Let's see, I saw a starfish earlier. Let me see if I can find him again. Where was he? There was a huge starfish out here, but I have seen, we have seagrass here, and then it goes right into coral. All right, so we have a huge coral reef right off of the dock. So you can walk out on the dock, put your snorkel gear on, and get in the water. Oh, there's the starfish. Okay, hold on. I'm still getting used to this camera. Let me see. There he is right there. You zoom all the way in. Can you see him in there? It's probably a little muddled because he's kind of far out. But he's huge. I mean, he's like as big as my head. All right, so as you can see then, we have gone through 3 different ecosystems just on this one property: rainforest, mangrove, and ocean. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm going to sit down and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the changes that are coming to Next Level Homeschool. All right, so we've had the tour of the property, the mini tour, and you've seen that we have the rainforest ecosystem, the mangrove ecosystem, and the ocean ecosystem here. And now I'm sitting on my dilapidated dock. My entire property is pretty dilapidated, but that is all going to change. And this is the part of the video where I want to talk about the changes that are coming to Next Level Homeschool. So the first thing I want to reassure you of is that everything you know and love about Next Level is not going to change. We are not removing anything from Next Level. So we're going to still be bringing you those academically rigorous, content-rich lesson plans that your kids can do on their own schedule, that are accompanied by these fabulous hands-on projects that let them use their own talents and passions and skills to complete assignments based on the lesson plans. It really gets them engaged, and we love it. So none of that is going to change. What we are doing, though, is we're adding a component to Next Level, and this new component is called Ojo Bio. Now, if you have taken any Spanish, you might recognize the word ojo. It means eye, and it's spelled O-J-O. We will never call it Ojo. Okay, so the OJO, the O-J-O, stands for the Organization of Jungle and Ocean, and then the next word is Bio, B-I-O. And it's the way you would say, in English we would say biodiversity, but in Spanish we would say biodiversidad. So that's where the bio comes in. And if we put it all together, it's the Organization for Jungle and Ocean Biodiversity. And the I, because we have our eye on the biodiversity of the ocean and the jungle. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. I have taken students virtually on many field trips around the world in my travels. I've taken them to Costa Rica, to Malaysia, to Iceland, to Switzerland, to France, many different places in my travels, and created lesson plans around that. And I've had families say, hey, Mary, we would love to come travel with you and see the things you're doing and learn about the things you're teaching just along with you on site rather than doing it virtually. And while that's a good idea, and I did consider it for a while, logistically, I've always referred to trying to organize homeschoolers in a live setting, because I've done that before, as herding cats. Yeah, I really don't have interest in trying to herd cats. It's pretty difficult to get everyone on the same page with what they want to do and when they can go and all of these sorts of things. So my husband and I started thinking, I have been in love with the jungles of Central America for over 6 years when I first visited Belize. And that class on Costa Rica I just mentioned, that was the very first class I ever created for Next Level Homeschool 5 years ago. So the jungle and the ocean are my passions. So I thought, let's go where my passions are, because that's where I'm going to be able to best educate people. What if we had a home base where our homeschool families from around the world could come to for workshops, educational workshops, like week-long workshops, where we get hands-on with the biodiversity of the jungle, of the mangroves, and of the ocean. And so that's our plan. And we're so excited that it's finally come to fruition. We started this back in January of last year. We found this property, and now right at a year later, it's ours. And it's going to take us a year to get it where we need it to be in order for us to start bringing families out. But the general plan is that we will schedule workshops. They'll probably be like a week long, and they'll be over different topics throughout the year. So we'll probably hold, I would say, maybe 10 different workshops throughout the year. And as we do that, there will be like different schedules of things that we'll be covering. We'll always cover all of the ecosystems, but we'll have focuses in different areas. So maybe we're doing botany of the jungle, or one time. Maybe we're doing some zoology. Maybe we're just focusing on poison dart frogs. The Bocas del Toro archipelago has an amazing diversity of poison dart frogs, and the species are specific to the individual islands. It's amazing. And there's also 3 different species of sloths here, including on one of these islands way back here somewhere, there's a dwarf sloth. Okay? So we can focus there. The ability to have topics to focus on and learn about in a very in-depth manner is unlimited here. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to get hands-on. And I'm going to have wet labs here where we'll have our microscopes, and we'll be able to study these animals up close and personal. I'm super excited about it. And I hope you are too. And I hope that you'll be able to come join us here in Panama at some point in the future. We will have some lodging here on site for families. There are lodges all around us, anywhere from very rustic accommodations up to luxury accommodations, depending upon what your family wants. I'll raise my hand for I'm more of a rustic girl. We're off grid here. I will have internet. It's coming next month. I'm very excited. No, this is January. It's coming this month. But we don't have electricity. We have to run generators and solar and things like that. So there are some challenges to being in the jungle, but they're well worth it. I promise you that. So there is so much coming up. And if you can't get to Panama, that's okay, because I'm going to be creating brand new classes, online classes, about the biodiversity of these ecosystems. So we're going to start having a lot of botany, a lot of zoology classes, all these things these kids love so much. I know I always have people wanting more marine biology, Mary, more marine biology. It's coming, I promise. And the other thing is more classes for the younger kids. I know a lot of you are always like, oh my gosh, you only have classes for like 10 and up. What about my 7-year-old, my 8-year-old? We do have a few classes for those guys, but I'm going to start having a lot more. So lots of changes coming. Every single one of them is going to be positive and wonderful. And whether you can join us here in Panama in person or online, you're going to benefit from this beautiful property that we have been so fortunate to be the conservators of. And just to know that we have this great responsibility to
keep the biodiversity here intact, keep the animals and the plants in a healthy environment. That is our goal. And on top of that, teaching your children. So I do ask you, if you're excited about these things, please subscribe. I'm going to be putting a lot of free video content up about the different animals and plants I encounter on this property and around Panama. So even if you're not part of the Next Level family and you don't plan to be anytime too soon, you're going to be able to benefit from that content as well. So click subscribe and look for more videos. Hopefully I'll have some more coming here in the next couple of weeks. Happy New Year!